Hello, I'm Felicity, I'm a satisfaction coach, yoga teacher, and reflexologist who is empowering people to live and breathe and create a happier, healthier, and more satisfied life that they don't need to escape from. And hi, how are you? Come and say hello if you are there. I'm just saying something. I knew there was something I forgot to put up today. Tell me how you're doing. Even if you're on replay, please come in and say hello. Today I'm going to talk about feet. Feet are important to me. Just trying not to fall over. Feet are kind of the foundation of everything I do. So I'm a yoga teacher and I'm a reflexologist, which means I spend a lot of time dealing with feet, right? And they're the foundation of everything for us. This seems like a really obvious thing to say, right? But it's what we stand on. They're really quite important, you see. And so they come into a lot of the stuff that I do, and I've had a fascination for feet for quite a long time. Not in a kinky way. Just wanted to make that very clear. Not in a kinky way. Just in a way that I find them. I've always found them quite interesting, and I always like people massaging my feet or kind of doing stuff to my feet. I used to get corns when Farouk was when I was a kid, and my mum used to rub it. I used to love it. I used to love. I know this is a little bit weird. That is a bit weird. I'll give you that. But I used to love crocodiles kind of picking about on my feet, and I'm still quite happy going to the crocodiles and letting them dig around on my feet. And there's something about your feet. And this is why I came to reflexology. This is why I decided to do reflexology, was because I was quite, people had told me I was quite good at massage, for example. I've done an Indian hair massage course and just quite faithfully doing massaging people say I was quite good at it. So when I had a chance to retrain in something else, and I've considered doing full body massage, for example, and it's a bit of a faff, isn't it? The fact when it asking people to take all their clothes off and having to have a proper massage bed and stuff. Reflexology seemed much simpler. You know, it's like put your shoes and socks off, pick your feet up, and I'll do a reflexology treatment on you. Not always that simple, but there's something about feet that we don't take very much care of them. You know, they're a long way away from our head. We don't think about them very often. We encase them in socks and shoes, we stomp out on them. We don't give them a lot of love. So I love giving feet a bit of love. This is one of the things I love about reflexology. And I used to like doing pedicures as well. I'm sure quite a lot of beauty therapists who do pedicures have probably say much the same thing, but there's something about when people come in, their feet are all gnarly and like saying mistreated and not in very good condition. You can quite easily make feet look much better or feel much better. And there's something about when you massage your feet, it really does have an effect on the whole body. And this is the theory of reflexology, that your foot maps your body. Between the 2 feet, your body is mapped. So your spine runs down the middle, your head is your toes, everything else fits in the middle. And we manipulate pressure points in order to massage the entire body, really. And that's kind of magical. But you know, you can feel it, unless you're somebody who really doesn't like having their feet touched. And I know that there are a lot of people who just don't like having their feet touched. This instantly relaxes people. And I love the effect that reflexology has on my clients. So this is where feet are really, really, really important to us in that kind of physical context. Like I say, not so much for shoulders. I think this is the other thing, is when you actually massage directly into a place, especially if you've got a tension in your shoulders, for example, your instinct is to react against it. Your instinct is actually to tense up against that massage and not to release from it. Whereas if I'm massaging the shoulder in someone's foot, they're not going to tense up against it because it's not instinctive to tense up against that. And it does start to relax the body, just from touching the foot. There's obviously that kind of physical impact. But feet are also really important from a mental point of view for grounding. We talk about grounding quite a lot when we're talking about stress and anxiety, when we're talking about, and in particular anxiety, it's one of the key things that people suggest, therapists will suggest for people with anxiety to help especially in those anxious moments, is to ground. So when you're anxious, don't take this phrase the wrong way, but it's all in your head, and it feels like it's all in your head, doesn't it? Like anxiety, it kind of feels like things are just buzzing around your head, like bees buzzing around the hive. And yes, that then impacts on things like your heart rate, sweatiness, shaking. But it is quite literally all in your head. It's a chemical trigger that's happening in your head. So anxiety has us all up here. And if we can start to bring ourselves down and ground, there's one way that you can ground is quite physically ground, touching the floor. And more often than not, your feet are touching the floor, right? Especially if you're out and about. If your feet are on the floor, you can consciously ground, you can consciously spend that time feeling the floor. Even if you've got shoes on, that's where no shoes is much better. Feeling the floor underneath you. And it's, there's loads and loads of different grounding techniques, but the simplest one is think about your contact with the ground. Think about your contact of the feet with the ground. So where else do feet come into? Feet come into like yoga, of course. Kind of in the opposite way. So not all, but almost all of my yoga postures that I teach start from the feet. There's no point in sorting out your shoulders before you've sorted out your feet. Because as soon as you change the way that your feet are in the standing posture in particular, that will change the way your shoulders are. We'll do some stuff in the chair. So if I can, I'll stand badly as an example. So if I'm standing like this, right? And then I might kind of sort out my shoulders. Think I'm sorting out my shoulders, and they're back in there. And I think, well, we'll go back down to the bottom half of my body now, rounding through my feet. And now my shoulders have gone the other way. Is actually I start with the feet first. That will start to move my shoulders automatically into a place that is more neutral. Because my standing pose in mountain, for example. When I'm introducing people to mountain pose, the first thing I say is feel the concept of the floor in the feet. Check that you're on your feet evenly, so checking that we're even front to back. Check that we're even side to side. If you're starting your standing pose and you kind of more on one foot than the other, you're starting from a really difficult place, right? You're then going to try and do, squats or something from here. That's not going to do any of your body any good. You start with the feet. And physiotherapists will quite often talk about how, even if someone comes to them with a shoulder complaint, they'll look at how they're standing, they'll look at how they're balanced on their feet, before they look at the shoulder. Or as part of the assessment, it's not just going to be about the shoulder, it's going to be about what happens further down as well. So the way that you walk, the way you stand on your feet, has an impact on every single part of your body. Will impact on your knees, your hips, your shoulders, your back. So it's really key part of getting good posture. So let's talk about shoes. I've shared recently on my page, on my Facebook page, a post that came from the Foot Collective. Really good place to look if you're interested in more feet stuff. Interesting people to follow. And they talk a lot about how shoes are not very good for us. Now, I say again, obviously when I'm doing reflexology and seeing a lot of people's feet, and people talk about their feet, and one of the most common things that we quite often talk about in feet is the arch, yeah? Where I find it, the camera is not very good. Take yourself back. The arch, this bit here. And flat feet. People talk about having flat feet quite a lot. And what a lot of people, a lot of doctors, quite a lot of foot doctors as well, will say if you've got flat feet is start putting a why support on your feet? People are talking about footwear, they're also talking about supportive footwear. Support your ankle support. I saw someone talking about, this kind of floppy ballet shoe thing, saying that they don't have any support. Like, your foot is made to support you. Your foot doesn't need support. If your foot needs support, it means that your foot's not working properly. Then you need to get your foot to work properly. So, I used to have flat feet. I used to have quite flat feet. I used to have really bad pain in my shins, especially if I walked fast. So I used to, at one point, I lived in London for about 5 years. And anyone who's lived in London will know that people who live in London walk at a pretty speedy pace. Like you learn to walk pretty quickly when you're in London, because you walk quite a lot. And then I moved away, and I found gradually that when I was walking really fast, I was getting to a pain in my shins, and kind of base in my shins. And it seemed to be because I had flat feet, and I wore supports, wore orthotic supports for quite a long time, for a few years, which would support under here. But the thing is, when you're always wearing something that's supporting your feet, you then rely on them, right? And like anything, like any muscle in the body, if you start to support it, the muscle's going to start to atrophy even more. So you might say, do you know what? Every time I lift my arm, this uses muscle. It's hard to lift my arm. So I'm going to start wearing a sling, wearing the arm in a sling, so I don't have to lift it up anymore. This muscle's going to stop stop working completely then, and this muscle doesn't need to work anymore now you're supporting it in this way. Then the muscle's going to start to die off. Then you think. So we can, I will tell you, I mean, and I'm not going to make out that this is a quick process. It took me quite a lot of years of doing yoga to start to lift this arch again. Probably, I don't know, 3, 4 years. But I don't need to wear foot supports anymore because I've reclaimed the arch now. There are some very simple exercises you can do. And just to move the feet, especially if you're spending a lot of time in shoes, actually bring some movement into your feet every day. It's really good for your feet. It's actually good for other parts of your body as well. So things like in reflexology, this part of your foot represents your arms. And if we're always squishing this in a shoe, which we are quite a lot, most shoes squish at this point, we're reducing our breathing capacity. And yet, if we can spend some time, and this is not necessarily anti-shoe, but it's about not wearing bad shoes and not wearing them all the time. If we can spend some time opening up the toes and opening up here, it will actually help with that breathing. So I'm going to demonstrate a few things, and I'm just wondering if I should switch my camera around to a laptop camera. Cool. Not doing that. You're professional, honest. No, I'm doing. Easy camera. So hopefully you can see my feet a little bit better. And you can do this all sitting down. If you like a bit more. Right, so you can see my feet a little bit. So, the joy of all this stuff, of course, is you can do this while you're watching the telly, or you can do this while, maybe not if you're working in an office because you will have shoes on, but you can do this while you're working at home. Just taking a few minutes to move your feet and toes around. So we're going to start off by just lifting the toes. So I'm lifting from the toes. So I'm grounding into the ball of the foot. Lifting those toes. So lift and also spread out those toes as much as possible. Then the opposite is scrunching. So scrunching the toes. So when we scrunch the toe, that ball of that toe is probably going to have to come from here. I'm going to do it this way just to demonstrate so you can see front and you can see the side. But you better do this as in parallel. Then we're going to work up into a tip-toe. Really? So coming up onto the toe of the ball, up into tip-toe. So this is starting to work into the ankle as well. And obviously you can repeat these quite a few times. I'm just going to run through them fairly quickly. And then we're going to lift up the whole of the foot, keeping the heel on the floor. And as we do this, can we again do that opening and lifting of the toes? And can we move from lifting the foot to lifting the heel? So almost kind of rolling through this. Placing the ball and toes down, rolling up through the ankle. And we're going to do some side to side movement as well. I'm going to come back to the front arm. And we're going to sit with lifting the foot. I'm not going to take the feet a little bit wider apart here. We're going to lift those feet and then take them out. And then lift them again and bring them in. So we're actually moving all the way up into the hip here, potentially. But I'm not purposely moving the legs, I'm letting the feet guide them. And we're going to do the same. That's continuing. We're going to do the same lifting heels. Lifting heels, taking them out. The pigeon toes. And then moving to first position if you're a ballet dancer. For those of you who've ever done ballet before, you will know that one. We're kind of pivoting around on the ball of the foot or the toe, the big toe. Then, of course, we can do, I'm going to do one foot at a time. And if you want to, if you want to support by holding under the thigh, just watch your back, obviously, and do some circles into the ankle. But don't let the actual foot get lazy here. Really get the whole of the foot working here. So I'm kind of leading with the big toe. And go in the other direction. So leading with the big toe. And switching to the other side, of course, and do this there. Again, leading with that big toe. There's a come up, and we're going to really flex those toes up as you come up top. Then we point the foot as you come down. Then I'm going to show you one more thing, which I love to teach people. This is the really good thing about it. This is a really good thing. This is a really good thing for this arch of the foot. And again, you can do this like watching the telly and stuff. And what we're basically going to do is press down on the outside toes, or your big toe and your little toe, and keeping down on the balls of those toes as well. And trying to lift the middle toes. So keeping these outside toes down, lifting those inside toes up. And then again, letting that go. And this takes a bit of thinking how to do it as well, sometimes. So you can start doing one foot and then do the other foot, and then eventually you might be able to do both feet. You may never be able to do both feet. You may never be able to do one foot. But the action of trying to do it is what will help to start build this muscle here. And you will get fit from it. It's a good sign. It means that you're working stuff under here. So there's a little something for you to take away and have fun. Right. What do you think of all around? If you found any of that helpful, leave me around. Put me a comment in as well if you enjoyed that, or you know, I'm always open to people disagreeing with me as well. But yeah, you know, we all have to wear shoes, and I'm not saying don't ever wear shoes and do what I mean, I've got a bit of hard skin, but I don't like walking around on concrete. Concrete's not really made for human feet, but human feet are not really made for being shoes either, especially not a lot of the shoes that are out there. So think about trying to spend as much time as possible out of shoes and moving your feet around. I think that's all I've got to say for this one. You know, I'm going to check out next week. We shall see. If you want to read my blog or have a look at any of the other stuff that I talked about, go and have a look at my website. Check me out on the socials. Like, share, and follow everything I've got. And then you never miss the satisfaction session. I'm Felicity, I'm a satisfaction coach. And I hope to see you again next week. Have a wonderful